Alrighty, Mr. Ryan Roth, how you doing today, sir?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So, how did you get into yoga?
To yoga, well, it's been quite a long time.
Has it been? It's
Yeah.
been like just a few years or no?
No, much longer. I mean, I've been like regularly practicing for a few years,
Mm-hmm.
but I was probably first exposed when I was like 7 or 8 years old.
Really? What got you into it?
My aunt went to Costa Rica to do her yoga teacher training.
Oh,
When
I didn't
she-
know that.
Yeah, she was older. She was like in her 50s probably.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a second career. She was just into yoga and wanted to do it. And so when she came back from Costa Rica, she started teaching kind of regularly, and we would go and just whenever we went over there, we would do yoga at her house, and we went over there like all the time.
Like your family?
Yeah, my mom and I and her, and yeah, sometimes like my cousins and my dad, we would all do yoga. This is when I lived in New York, and and yeah, so that's when I was like first exposed to it and kind of learned a little bit about it. I've always been kind of naturally flexible, and it's just been around, like yoga's been around, spirituality's kind of
I
always
feel
been
like it
around.
hasn't gotten like super popular until like, I don't know, like 5-10 years ago.
Yeah, there's definitely, I mean, it
It's like
kind
a
of,
surge. Or maybe just we live in LA. I don't know.
yeah, see, that's the thing. It's kind of come around with this like new age, like spirituality movement,
Yeah.
like yoga, spirituality, meditation,
Yeah.
like veganism, like it's all kind
Sure.
of, they all kind of like, they propel themselves upward,
Yeah.
they like contribute to each other.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you feel like do you think they all propel each other up? Because like you're kind of vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, like you're
Yeah.
similar in that way.
no, I definitely think so. And I mean, I think it has roots in like the ancient traditions
How
because like
so?
yoga started in India as like an, and I mean, I'm no expert on this, but it's like basically some kind of extension of Hinduism. People use it as like a religious / like spiritual practice. So that's where like the yoga and spirituality get coupled together.
Yeah.
And then you look at like historically the diets of people who lived in India and like Hindus in India. Most of them,
Yeah.
a lot of them are vegetarians, don't eat any meat. And so I think you put all those things together, you bring it like over here to Western society, people jump onto it, they like it. I mean, it feels kind of good. Like
Yeah, and a lot of people are doing it. Like if you see all these people doing it, there must be a benefit or a spiritual benefit or,
yeah. I mean, people just do it. Makes them feel good. And
feel
I
good.
feel like
And
yoga,
a lot of people are doing it. So.
yeah, it must make people feel good. I mean, it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
It makes you feel good. That's
Sure.
why you do it,
I mean, I don't know if it makes me feel good because I don't feel like I've practiced a ton of yoga in terms of just like flows and stuff.
Yeah,
And do you practice flows and stuff?
definitely, yeah.
Okay. And like how long does like a flow take?
I mean, it could be anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour and a half. I mean,
Yeah, that's
sure.
crazy because like I don't know if I consider yoga. I stretch and I want to do these like balances and handstands and headstands and like these just like a lot of stretches because I feel better when I could move better,
Yeah.
And I feel it's very important to control your body and understand your body and be, I guess, one with your body,
Yeah, and I mean, people do it for that reason.
Yeah.
People do it for other reasons.
Yeah.
I think one of the big distinctions between yoga and simply like stretching is adding the breath to it. Like yoga is you're supposed to be very intentional with the way you breathe when you're doing movements. And
And breathing into these stretches, right?
right, yeah,
Yeah.
breathing into some kind of stretch or pose or like, and like, inhaling and like kind of, if for example, if you're doing like a forward fold or something, like just bending over and touching your toes, like on the inhale, usually you reach your arms above your head, and exhale, you go down and touch your toes. And then on the inhale, you maybe like come up a tiny bit. And on the exhale, you like try to lengthen the muscle and
Sure.
get deeper into the stretch.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, I guess that's the most effective way to do a regular stretch too, is to like each breath, like get a little bit deeper into the stretch,
Yeah.
but it also makes it kind of an active meditation if you're
Yeah.
really focusing on your breath the whole time.
So do you do yoga or these stretches and stuff for like, I guess, a meditation sense or flexibility for strength? Like what's like your main, like, I guess, goal in these practices I'm assuming you do it pretty much every day.
Yeah, it's actually funny. Yesterday, I didn't do any yoga, and it's the first day in like a while.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, I haven't done anything.
Were you sore from our last workout?
Yes. And I don't like doing yoga when I'm sore because I feel like I'm not as like good at it. I think like because if I'm really bendy and my muscles are relaxed, I can like get into all these crazy stretches and poses and stuff. But when I'm tight, I feel like I can't do anything.
Yeah, Ryan used to work out at the gym. I used to personal train at UCLA, and before Corona, and I guess it's like your first like. Have you touched a barbell in a while?
No.
Yeah.
I haven't touched a barbell since
like March.
Yeah, probably about a year, honestly.
Yeah, so Ryan got a good workout in on Monday.
I guess I came over to I guess I came over here and worked out
once. Yeah.
But
that was a while ago.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, most people don't even have barbells. I have a kettlebell at home and like some dumbbells, so I'm like lifting.
You could do a ton of stuff with that.
Right, and I do sometimes, but it's also I've just never been the most into weight training. Like going to the gym really gets me to lift weights because once I'm there, it's like, what else am I going to do but lift weights? You know, I don't go to the gym to do yoga. I do that. Like I can do that at home or I go to the yoga studio. Yeah. And I also just like, I like working out with someone who like knows what they're doing, who like has kind of
versus
a regime and just like, hey, you want to work out this part of your body? Like we have all these exercises. Like I'll tell you what to do. Like
just
do
knock it
do
out.
it like that.
Yeah.
I don't like whereas like with yoga, I like the more exploratory aspect of it. And a lot of people like the exploratory aspect of lifting, but I'm just not really into that as much.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just, so the other day, me and Ryan worked out. We did like yoga poses, handstand poses beforehand. And then we did some weightlifting, and holding your body in positions is like very difficult. Like your shoulders are gassed after like 10 minutes of handstands. Yeah. You know, and just adding weight after it is just like, wow. Like the combination of both is very taxing, I guess.
Yeah, I think it definitely is. It's like different parts of your muscles too. I
mean, the stabilizer muscles are like just muscles you don't use all the time, and just like holding your body in these positions is very difficult than you would think so. But like also like bench pressing a lot of weight is difficult as well. Yeah. You know, it's just like what do you want to progress in, or what do you want your body to do, you know?
Yeah. I notice, and I don't know if it's just because I'm better at like the handstands and more like the calisthenic stuff. Yeah.
But you held like a 20-second handstand last time. I was very impressed.
Yeah, that was one of my longer ones, honestly. The last week I've just been doing it really well. Yeah. I don't know where I took like a break for a bit because I was traveling. But I noticed for me at least it's a lot easier to do the calisthenic holds first and then go lift weights. Yeah. Because the last time we worked out before, not a couple days ago, but previous time.
Yeah, months ago.
Yeah, we lifted first and then tried to do the handstands.
And we couldn't do it.
I was like, I mean, my arms were like shaking by the end, you know, but I can go and do like shoulder press after doing handstands. Yeah. I don't know why, but I don't know if it's the same for you or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's just you were talking about just like your endurance. I feel like it was just your endurance. We worked out like for 3 hours the last time as well. Yeah, like, true. Takes a long time. And so do you have any like what's your goals with like your body right now? Like, or just like fitness regime?
Yeah. I mean, it's mostly yoga goals.
What?
Just like getting into different like asanas, which is like
what's that?
A pose, like an asanas, just I think Sanskrit. That's like the original ancient language, but I think that's the term for like a pose, you know, or like a body position. So yeah, I have a few. I have like some handstand goals. I want to be able to like hold a handstand in like full lotus.
Wow.
I want to be able to.
That's the crisscross legs, right?
Yeah, like that typical yoga pose where you're like, you know, like that.
But, yeah, I can't even do that.
But like, yeah, upside down handstand. I want to be able to do like some forearm stand, like variations. I want to be able to like flip from a wheel, like some people call it a bridge, but basically like hands on the ground, legs on the ground, like back arched into like a handstand. Yeah. Before that, I want to be able to do like a forearm wheel into a forearm stand.
Yeah. Do you have any strength goals, or are they mostly just like for yoga for like mobility?
I mean, you inspired me to do the pull-up challenge.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm trying to get
30?
35.
35?
Yeah.
By end of the year, you got 11 more months.
Yeah. And I really got to get on that. I actually like.
Do you have a bar at home, or do you have
yeah. I have one of the like doorway bars, which gets the job done.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. I actually was like thinking today I want to make it a point to not do any back because I was reading the regiment you send me, and it said to make sure you're like really fresh before you do the test.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm still I'm a little sore still from the other day.
Yeah.
So I just want to do strictly lower body today, so I can
lower body, so you could knock out the test tomorrow or the next day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my only really strength goal. I don't know. I found when I was lifting.
Yeah, I got a lot of people to do that pull-up challenge. I think like 10 friends of mine are like, oh, dude, I want to be able to do like 20. Like I could only do like 2 right now.
It's just a good goal.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of this stuff I was reading online from that thing you sent me, but it's like the amount of pull-ups you can do is a really good indicator of like your like strength and your overall health. Like most people, even like really strong, like looking people who can bench press a lot of weight, can't do like 20 pull-ups.
No,
that's a lot to be able to do like 20 pull-ups.
Yeah, and like they're really good for handstands too, because like, if you look at like, I'm not an expert or scientist, but back in the day, like our primal evolution of like being like monkeys and stuff is like, we used to hang from trees, and like it's like nowadays we're just sitting in chairs all day, and sometimes like a lot of people can't even put their like hand over their head without like their shoulders hurting, like people in their like 50s 60s, and just being able to hang and actually pulling your own body weight over a bar is like very like natural. Like you should be able to do that,
right?
And most people can't do a pull-up, and because a lot of people even in the United States are like overweight, you know, and like you can't pull your body weight up one time.
Yeah, and I mean it's a hard movement. It's nothing like a push-up, Like, push-up is like the kind of the contra, because the pull-up's like the pulling motion. Push-up's like the pushing motion.
Sure.
But everyone can do like, not everyone, but like most people can do a push-up. Most people can do like 5 or 10 push-ups, But pull-ups are hard.
Yeah.
Especially for like women too, I think. Like, I think it's just something to do with like the way our physiology is like structured, like with like males and females. But like, it's just hard to do pull-ups.
Yeah. So you're quite the surfer now, my friend.
Yeah, I've been getting really into surfing lately.
Dude, that last picture really that you posted on like Instagram is it's pretty gnarly. I was like, is that Ryan? No way.
Yeah. We went to El Salvador on this.
Who took that
little trip?
One of your buddies?
There was a surf photographer there.
Oh,
yeah, it was kind of like part of our trip. They included like a surf photographer, so we had.
Oh, that's awesome.
Unfortunately, we thought he would be there like every day. Unfortunately, he was only there one day, so he got that one morning. But there were some great waves that morning, so like not complaining. But yeah, there were some good overhead barrels, and it was pretty.
That was a shortboard too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everybody pretty much was on shortboards. Yeah. I mean,
when did you start? Did we start around the same time?
I don't know. When did you start?
I started my senior year of college. I was so 2.5 years ago.
What year did you graduate college?
17.
17.
Oh wow. 17. No, 19.
19. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd been a couple times like when I was younger, but like just I'd gotten like a lesson or two, but maybe like I did it once when I was on vacation. I didn't do it again for like 5 years or something. Yeah. Then when I moved to LA, I started a little bit more. I got like one of those big foam boards, like the Wave Storms from Costco.
Sure.
Best beginner board.
Was that 2019 too?
That was 20.
No, it was sooner.
That was fall 2018.
Yeah. So you started a little bit before me.
Yeah, and I was going like not that often, honestly, like maybe once a month, a couple times a month, because I didn't really know what I was doing, and I only would want to go with people who knew what they were doing. So, so I went with my one friend Quentin from school because he was like the best surfer I knew.
Yeah.
And yeah, I started getting a bit more into it, and then I met one of my roommates who I live with now, Mike, and he goes like all the time. He's like obsessed.
Is he pretty good?
Yeah, I mean he's pretty good.
Yeah, you guys have like a whole on like rack system in your garage.
Yeah, we have a whole quiver.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I started going with him a lot, and I mean you just get better as you do it.
Yeah, I think surfing is one of the hardest things I've ever done.
Really?
Hands down. Like I think it's harder than weightlifting. I think it's harder. I ran a marathon, and like running's running. Like you could get better at your speed by just doing it. Surfing, like you do get better, but like there's like times that I've went out like 5 days and not caught a wave, and I'm just like, I hate this. Like I suck. Like
Yeah,
super
it can be
demoralizing.
frustrating for sure.
And the one thing that I always I enjoy from it's like being in the ocean and just like, like kind of getting away from just like normal life and just like enjoying Mother Nature and feeling the water on your skin and just like breathing in some like salty air. Like it's super, I don't know, like I get just kind of meditate out there for a little bit too and just like breathe for the first like 10 minutes. Do you get like any like, I guess like any sensation like that when you go?
Yeah, I do for sure. And I don't even think, for me, it's not even like I try to go out there to do that. It just like happens, you know?
Yeah, I don't try.
Like, I don't, yeah. Like I just am out there and I just feel good after usually.
Yeah.
Usually when you start a morning, because most people go like in the morning, you know? Usually when you start a day surfing, it's like a great day, you know? I love waking up early, going surfing, and then getting like a whole day of work done. You feel like you've just done
Conquered
so
your
much.
day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so awesome.
How long do you think? How long did it take you to switch from like that Costco Wavestorm like foam board to like a shorter board?
I guess like a couple years, but I guess it also depends how
often you
go. Like,
Yeah.
depends on like your prior skill level and experience.
Yeah.
It also depends. Like you can go out there and start off on like a short board. It's just you're not gonna get waves for a while. You know, what
Like
I
a
mean?
long time.
Yeah, exactly. So it's almost better.
I think it's like a different sport, dude. I felt like I couldn't catch a wave with a Wavestorm for like a couple months, like all the time, and then like all of a sudden, every wave that I catch, I'm getting on with the Wavestorm, and I'm just like, what the heck? Like, what am I doing differently? Obviously, like you're learning to paddle better. You're learning to keep your chest up and chin up as a wave comes. You're learning to learn to like pick your waves properly.
Right.
But then I go on a shortboard and I know all those things, and I can't get up.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's just a lot more room for error because it's like it's so small, you know.
Yeah.
It's like you have to be your form has to be way better. Like you have to be way more technical. Like the
Yeah.
Wavestorm is so big that you can just you can do a lot of things wrong and still surf waves and have a great time.
Yeah.
Which is why it's so awesome,
Yeah.
you know, and why it's such a great board to start with because you can be like you can start having fun from the beginning, whereas like you don't want to just be like being tossed around on a little like potato chip board out there.
Yeah.
For like the first 3 years you're surfing, like that wouldn't be.
Yeah.
You'd probably hate surfing.
Yeah. What do you enjoy most about surfing?
I mean, aside from the aspect of like being out in nature and just kind of like the general feeling it gives me, I like you said, it's really hard. Like it's a hard ass sport, and I love getting better at like sports and things generally.
Yeah.
That's like another reason I love yoga.
It's hard. Yoga's hard.
It's hard, and I feel like there's like very measurable progress. Like if I look at myself right now and how flexible I am and like what poses I can get into, and look at myself in 4 months, like I'm gonna be much more advanced, much more flexible if I'm practicing every day like I do.
Yeah.
With surfing, it's kind of similar. Like every like 5 or 6 times I go surfing, if the waves are good, which is like a huge factor, obviously.
Sure.
If the waves are good, every 5 or 6 times, it's the best surf session I've ever had.
Yeah.
Because I'm constantly like getting better and leveling up, and that just feels so fun. Like that's so.
It
awesome.
feels so good to get good at things or like get better at things.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it
in
really
the
does.
initial,
I don't know why.
in the initial part though, you feel very, very vulnerable. Like I hated surfing for like, I think the first month I went because like, yo, I suck. This sucks.
Yeah.
You know, like I hated working out for the first probably 2 years I worked out because like, I'm just like, felt like I looked the goddamn same, you know? And you hit a point in just like a skill or a hobby or just like something that's very difficult where like, oh, it clicks. And then like you start seeing results. You start catching your first wave. You start seeing like a couple abs and you're like, oh, wow, this is pretty fucking cool. I love this. But like that barrier to entry is like, I think it prevents a lot of people from getting good at things.
Yeah, I agree. I think it depends on the thing too. Cause like, it depends on the person probably too.
Sure.
because everyone likes, you know, things a little differently. Like I didn't like when I started surfing, I thought it was fun. I wasn't good at it at all, but I thought it was fun. Like there isn't really much fun. There wasn't much fun about like going to the gym and like lifting weights, you know, at the beginning at least.
Yeah.
And even now for me, I'm not that into it. You
Sure.
know? But surfing, aside from like when you're getting tossed around and like you feel like you're about to drown and stuff, like it's really fun, you know?
Yeah.
And I've always thought it was pretty fun. Even on the days where the waves aren't that good and maybe you only get a couple.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. There's some days when I went surfing, I didn't catch a wave and I got tossed around and I was like, fuck, this sucks. But I kind of don't want to go out again tomorrow because I don't want to feel that shitty feeling again.
Yeah.
And like, I would go to the gym and feel the same way. I went and get some weight up. I'm like, I don't want to do this again tomorrow, you know, like, but just like being able to like go out and keep doing things that like, it's not initially, I guess, like satisfying and then end up like achieving those, like catching that wave for the first time or like putting on some weight for the first time is like awesome.
Yeah. And I do agree with you. There is a point in like every kind of hobby where it clicks.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I see myself improving. I don't know if people like the actual sport or they just like improving or maybe it's a little bit of both. It's probably both.
What was yours for like yoga and flexibility and stuff?
What do you mean? What was mine?
Like what was that point? That I want to keep doing this. And this is awesome.
Yeah. I just noticed like a little, I guess like maybe like a year and a half ago, I had started going to like yoga studios to do yoga classes.
Like Core Power, or where did you go?
I've never been to Core Power. Sweat Yoga was
Sweat in Santa Monica?
Yeah.
Okay.
I lived over there, so I was going to that one a decent amount. I also went to the Yoga Collective. There's one in Santa Monica and one in Venice. And I started going to those, and I just the feeling I would have after one of those classes was incredible. Like I would walk out and I'd be shaking because like the depth, like deep muscles, like my core muscles, but like, you know, the deep ones were like getting worked and I was like really sore.
Not just because of the heat, because of the actual movement,
but also because the heat.
Yeah.
And you almost feel like high on something after. Like you walk out and you look around and everything's kind of like twinkling and you're like, whoa, like the world doesn't usually look like this.
Sure.
And I was like, this feeling is incredible. Like I wish I could feel like this all the time. Yeah.
It's a little bit of a high for sure.
Yeah.
It's like at the end of a run. It's similar.
Yeah. But so the yoga one really hit me like more so than other, like the pump, like when you lift, like doesn't get me as much, or like the runner's high doesn't get me as much. The yoga one really gets me. And I noticed that not only did I feel good right after I got out of class, but like if I was doing one of those classes a few times a week, I had a really good week. Like I would wake up and I'd be happier. Like I'd be like whistling and like smiling and like looking around and like enjoying
life,
what the world looks like, and the people around me. And I was like, all right, if it's like that simple, if it's like, do yoga feel like this? Yeah. Like I'm going to do yoga, you know,
all
like
the time.
And that's kind of what really, really made me get into it. Cause yeah, I mean, it's just so obvious that I want to feel like good, you know, everybody wants to feel good, I think. Right. And if I know what's going to make me feel good, then I'm going to do that.
You're going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you never really have like, I feel like for surfing and yoga for you, I feel like you always want to go. You don't have that resistance saying like, oh, I kind of don't want to go today. Like it doesn't seem like that, and I feel like a lot of people have that resistance.
Yeah, I think people do. I definitely have resistance sometimes. Like sometimes you just feel lazy. Like I was telling you, like today it's really gross and rainy out in like Southern California, which never happens. You know, happens like 20 days a year maybe, and it's
not even that.
And it's like and it's like it's just like I don't really want to do much today.
You know, sit at home and watch a movie, read a book type of day.
Watch a movie, hang out, like smoke, just chill, like, you know, something.
Yeah.
But yeah, for yoga it doesn't really happen as much because I know I can do yoga for 10 minutes and it's still like a productive like thing to do.
My point when I was like, it was actually with you when I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I did my first headstand on your balcony in Venice. And I held it for like 20 seconds and I was like, what? Like my body could do this, like, and it was kind of an epiphany, like, I didn't spend like any time to learn this, and I kind of got that like that pose and held it down. What if I spent a few minutes a day, a 1 hour a week? Like, how good can I get at this? Because like it's kind of it for me, like learning to control your body and like do things that like within the realm of like, yeah, like I didn't know my body was capable of doing that.
Yeah, I remember when you did it for the first time, you were so stoked.
Yeah,
You were
I was
so excited.
And then I started practicing at home, and then like I started posting it on Instagram. You're like, yo, that's pretty good, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you just get better. It's just like,
Yeah.
if you do it, you're going to get better.
Yeah,
It's like anything
but
else.
that was my point of like, oh, I'm gonna keep doing this because this is pretty cool.
Yeah, and that just shows how there are like different reasons
Yeah.
to do it. You know, like I continued to do it, not even when I was getting into like cool poses like that, but just when I was starting off, because it was making me feel good.
Yeah.
But then I also do it because I love getting into those poses.
Yeah.
Like every time I get into like a new, more advanced asana, I'm always like, it's just so incredible that I can do this to my body. You know, like
Yeah.
I just would have never imagined that I can do some of the things I can do. And like anyone can do it. You just have to like practice.
Yeah.
And people always ask like, how can you do that? Like, that's literally nuts. Like, how do you do that? And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I literally do yoga every single day for like 10 minutes maybe, or
Yeah.
like maybe an hour, you know? But like if you did it every single day, you'd be able to do this stuff too. It's
Too. Yeah. I posted. Did you see my push-up video yesterday?
no.
So I posted these crazy push-ups, like Superman push-ups, like all these, like a little like reel of it. And I had like 10 or 15 people DM me like, yo, like, how can you do that? And I'm it's just practice. And the same
Yeah.
thing, like you do it every day, you probably can do it too.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
yeah, and people don't really see all the falls and all
No.
like the face plants.
They
and
just see
stuff.
the holds for the ones that you
Yeah.
didn't let them see.
Yeah, I don't post the ones where I fall and like fell on my face.
Yeah,
like,
there's way more of those,
For
way
sure.
more face plants. There's just one quote that I resonated with me. I think it was like a year and a half ago I read it, and it says, "Yoga is the martial art against yourself." What do you think about that?
it's pretty interesting. I don't really know a whole lot about martial arts, so I'm not. What do you think that means? Like the martial art?
Yeah, so like I did jujitsu for a while.
Okay. Yeah, I remember over in Santa Monica. Right?
Yeah, and I took karate growing up, and I did a couple boxing classes, and in those, it's kind of like, I feel like jiu-jitsu is kind of like chess. Like someone's gonna do a move against you, and you have to do a counter move, right? And when I read that quote for yoga, I was like, I guess it's the same thing too, because like if you put your, I don't know, we'll just say a simple headstand, right? And you put yourself in a headstand, you're going to feel resistance going this way. You have to counteract your core, your quads, whatever, to not fall down.
Right.
Because like that fall is a fail. That's, if you compare it to like jujitsu, that's someone choking you out.
Yeah.
Right. And so you have to fight hard to get it back to that position, you know? So that's how I feel about it. And I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool quote. Cause like all these holds that you're holding, there's that resistance of like, oh, I'm about to fall, oh, coming back, you know? Also, like, if you put yourself in a stretch in a position that's, like, really, I don't know, if you're trying to do some straddle or something, and you're to a point where, like, this shit really hurts. Like, I feel like my groin's about to rip. And how can you, like, if someone's, I guess, if you go back to jiu-jitsu and someone's holding your, like, arm back and it's like resisting too, how can I find a way to like maneuver out of that? You know, like how do I maneuver out of that pain? Is it for yoga? Is it mentally? You know, can you breathe better to a point where like, you relax into that pain versus like, I don't know. So that's how I interpreted it. And I was just wondering what you thought.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think it's cool thinking about like the counterbalance and things like that, like doing a reactive move to someone maybe trying to like put you in some kind of bind in jiu-jitsu or something.
Yeah.
I get the translation to like, you know, using the one side of your body to make sure you don't fall one way and trying to find that like sweet spot and balance.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Because there's a couple times that I've done headstand and I'm squeezing really, 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 really hard in like some muscles. I don't know which ones are working. And then it comes back and I'm just like, I don't know what I did.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I think it's a lot of times you're using muscles you don't use.
Yeah.
And you're teaching your brain how to activate muscles.
Yeah.
And things. And it's the same thing in weightlifting and and things like that. But it's all about like the mind muscle connection.
The body's so cool, dude. Like I'm just fascinated by it every time. Like I see someone do some cool thing. Like when you did your like handstand from like a cross position to a straddle to cross, I was like, what the fuck? Like
Yeah, it's crazy, and seeing other people do crazy stuff really makes me want to like keep leveling up and do more.
Have you ever done acro yoga?
Yes, but not a ton. I've done I've done it a bit. I've honestly been a flyer more than I've been a base.
Sure.
But yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know. Every time I go to Santa Monica and I see like that and like people doing balancing on the balance rope and everything, I'm just fascinated.
Yeah, that shit is crazy. People are like, I mean, some of those people travel the world like doing and teaching acro yoga. Some of those people that live in Santa Monica.
And they make a good amount of money. I mean, they make a living doing it.
For sure.
Which is like awesome.
I mean, they're doing crazy stuff. There's this one dude and he's called like Tarzan or something.
Oh yeah, Modern Tarzan.
Yeah, you know him?
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's crazy. And he's like, he'll be like laying on his back with a girl like sitting like, you know, like airplaning on his legs while they're up in the air, and he'll like flip her.
Yeah, do a backflip or something like that, and like just land on his hands
or on his feet.
Yeah, on his feet. I was just like,
crazy.
What?
It's crazy.
Yeah. So Ryan is a law student at UCLA as well, right?
Yeah.
What made you decide, I guess, to go in law?
You know, people ask this, and it's such a horrible question. But
why is it a horrible question, or is it a horrible answer?
I don't know. I guess it's just like I don't have. Like some people have this like really like crazy reason.
Compelling.
You know?
Yeah.
There's like, you know, I saw this injustice and I wanted to like change it.
Some people say they watch Suits too and they want to be
yeah, I guess. At least mine's not that bad. Although Suits is a good show. I haven't seen it all.
It's a very good show.
But yeah, I kind of always just thought about going to law school.
Mm-hmm.
And
when did you think about it? Like, was this like kindergarten?
Since
Ryan?
I was
like,
a kid, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, because my uncle was a lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah. And I just kind of always thought about it. And also, I kind of grew up and people would always be like, oh, you would make a great lawyer. And I didn't really know what that meant. And I still don't really know if those people knew what they were talking about, you know, but like I listened to them, I guess.
Sure.
And yeah, I was just I was graduating from undergrad.
Mm-hmm. At Florida, right?
At University of Florida, okay. Yeah. And I didn't really know 100% what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And it just seemed like law school was a good next step. I don't know. I kind of felt pressure to like keep like advancing in a way as opposed to just like taking a break and like figuring shit out, which honestly would have been maybe good in itself. And like a lot of people do something like that, you know, like especially in like other countries, like European countries, people are
they take a couple years off or a year off.
Take years off.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I went to law school.
There's some pressure in the United States for sure that like, oh, keep going. Ton. And a lot of people just like don't stop, even though like they'll keep doing stuff, but like they don't know where they're going.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's like a lot of people in the United States, in my opinion, aren't very self-aware.
Yeah.
Of like, they're just like, oh, this is the next step. You ask why, you're like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you have to have some kind of idea of what you want.
Yeah.
To have as far as like possessions go, as far as like what your job is going to look like.
Sure. Where you want to live.
Where you want to live.
If you want to experience stuff.
Yeah. What kind of lifestyle you want to have. You got to have some kind of idea. And I mean, some people have it like drilled down to a T. Like good for those people. I wish I had it drilled down to a T because I feel like life would be a lot easier.
Why do you wish you had it drilled down to a T?
Well, just like if I knew exactly what I wanted for like the rest of my life.
Isn't that boring though?
But it'd be very easy to go get it if I knew what I wanted, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's a little bit of a, like, I'm not 100% sure, so I don't really like know what to do to get to what I want because I don't even like really know 100%. You know, I have an idea, and like the more I age and the more I experience, I think the better of an idea I do have. But yeah, it's somewhat like the people who've like wanted to be doctors since they were 2 and they know exactly what they know all this stuff. Like it is a little like respectable in some sense. Like life would be a little bit easier if you were so sure about what you wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like there's not a ton of beauty in that though. Like I feel like it's kind of boring. Like I feel like the unknown is a place that is very special that you could grow from and like just like evolve like and change and become like a very like well-rounded human being.
Yeah, I think I agree.
Because I had this guy on who's a pretty like famous singer, and he's been wanting to be a singer since he was like born, like 3 4, and I was like, cool. And then he doesn't know much about anything else, but it's also respectable that you're like an expert in this one field and you're really good at it, and not a lot of people are on that level too.
Yeah.
So there's a little like I see both.
Yeah, and I think it's just maybe like easier if you at least know what you want, you know.
Yeah.
That's kind of
At least know what you don't want.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy to know what you don't want because there's so many things out there, you know. Like like I can name off thousands of things I don't want.
And well, that's a start. I feel like some people
No,
don't know what they don't know.
It definitely is a start, and it's kind of how you get to what you want.
Yeah.
And that's why it's good to do
Yeah.
a lot of different things to figure out, you know, what
Yeah.
works and stuff.
Yeah.
Something I've realized about just like careers generally and like working and things like that. And this like like translates to like the law and translates to like a bunch of other careers too, is that there's a difference between like being interested in something as like a subject or like a field, and then being interested in something as like what you would do if you were to work in that field every day. You know what I mean? So like specifically with like the law, like people are interested in certain areas of the law, you know, like maybe like environmental law or like, you know, like criminal law or something.
Sure.
But you can be interested in one area of the law like that, but also not like what criminal lawyers do from on the day to day.
Yeah.
You know, because there's a difference between like, I mean, you have to like, ideally you like the subject and the work.
Yeah.
But you can like one and not the other.
Sure.
And it can go either way, I think.
Yeah. What type of law do you want to do now? Or at least when you graduate? This is your last year, right?
Yeah, I just have a few months left till I graduate.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm starting to work in like civil litigation.
What's that?
Basically it's just like civil lawsuits.
Okay.
And it's like that's a really broad like field, but that's generally how that field works. It's like you can do, I mean, it's like environmental law, it's like tax disputes, it's like commercial disputes like with contracts and things like that. Huge. Civil litigation is just huge.
Yeah.
But I'll be doing like more of a general kind of, maybe like some environmental, maybe some healthcare stuff, definitely some commercial stuff. And I'll be doing that for like a few years. I mean, at least a few years. It really depends how I like it, you know?
Yeah. Do you want to stay in LA to practice?
Yeah. I got a job working at a firm in LA. So
Oh, is it the one in downtown?
yeah, it's in downtown.
Dang, bro, that's far from the beach.
It is. Yeah, it's kind of far, but that's where most of like the, you know, the firms
are.
like financial jobs, like most of like the kind of suit and tie jobs.
Kind of everything is there too. Even the entertainment areas. There's a lot of things downtown. Downtown's just like the business hub of LA.
Yeah, downtown in like Century City.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna start doing that, and then long term, I don't know what I want to do really 100%. Like kind of like I was saying, but
Are you set there for good for like a year or two, or wherever you?
well,
live?
I mean, I guess in theory, I don't have to work there I can work there for as long as I want. I guess in theory, if I work there a month and I don't like it, I can quit. But I don't see myself doing that.
Yeah.
It's good to like work at your first job out of school for a few years. To, like make sure you get some really good training and experience. And, kind of get on your feet, and then if you want to switch jobs, you can usually transition. And if you like what you're doing, you can stay there.
Yeah. How's law school at UCLA? Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's really awesome. Honestly, it's just UCLA is just an awesome institution. They have so many good professors, so many good resources. I mean, most of my professors went to like Harvard Law or Yale Law. Like most of my professors are writing textbooks, so a lot of the classes, like the textbook I'm reading, was written by the professor
Oh, wow.
who was teaching it.
That's
Which
crazy.
is like really special because a bunch of other schools are using that textbook too,
Yeah.
and they don't get to get
They don't
taught by
get-
the professor who
yeah,
wrote
sure.
the textbook. But yeah, and the school just has a ton of like organizations and like, I'm trying to think of the right word. Just like, I guess kind of like centers, like, you know, there's like the business and tax law, like it's not called a center, but I forget what it's called. And then there's like the criminal law one, and there's like the critical
like
race
sector
theory
or whatever.
yeah. And they just, they have all these speakers come in, and they have like, networking events, and a lot of the faculty that are like leading these.
How's the transition from, I guess, pre-COVID to COVID now? Because obviously you can't do these networking events like in person.
Yeah, they still do them online. I haven't been doing as many because I like have a job and stuff, so I don't really need to network as much.
Yeah, that's kind of nice that you kind of landed one early on.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works. Honestly, with law school, most people get
Do
their
they?
job by like the beginning of their second year. They get their summer job for after their second year.
That's cool.
But yeah, it's been cool. It's definitely different with COVID. We're like all online, which has its pros and cons. Like I'm not in touch with nearly as many people as I was before when we were like going to school.
Yeah.
But also I get to work from home and like if
In
I
your
want to be in my
pajamas.
pajamas, if I want to be in my boxers during class, I can. And like yesterday I went to the skate park for an hour in between class. Yeah. So like I can. It definitely has its.
You're getting pretty good at the, what is it, bowl or like?
Yeah, skating around the bowl and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it honestly translates to surfing a lot too.
Was that the first time? Was this year the first time you were skating in the bowl? That's so scary, dude. Like falling on like cement.
Yeah, it is scary. Falling on cement is not fun.
Yeah, I was like, I'll fall on waves any day, dude.
Right.
But like falling on cement, like
yeah, it's hard. I've hurt myself a few times.
yeah, you hurt your wrists a few times, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't help with the yoga. Like you can't be doing handstands if you got a bum wrist,
Yeah. Like my right hand and my right wrist, I tore a ligament in it, and when I was pursuing college golf, and I think when I was 16, 17. And it still affects me now. And like, anything with your hands or wrists, like you have to like warm up properly and do all those things. And like your hands are kind of everything. You do everything with your hands.
Yeah.
So that just scares me. Like when I see people skate, I'm just like, one fall, like.
Yeah, your hands and your feet too. And it's also like really hard to rest them, Yeah. Like if you hurt your wrist or your ankle, you can't just like not use it for 6 months. Unless you put it in like a brace. Yeah.
But even then, you're still like moving your fingers, which still moves your wrist.
Yeah. I mean, and the brace or like whatever, cast or whatever would help. Yeah. But it's really hard to not use it.
How was the transition from, I guess, New York to Florida and Florida to LA? Because those are, what part of Florida did you live in?
Near Tampa, like outside of Tampa.
Yeah, so like you kind of lived in big cities, like I guess your entire life.
Not really, no. I didn't live in I've actually never lived in a big city outside of LA. Yeah. Okay. Because in New York, I lived in upstate New York.
Okay.
Like real New Yorkers won't even call it upstate New York. It's so far upstate. It's like near Buffalo, but like the suburbs. And then in Florida, I lived in like west of Tampa, like Clearwater Beach kind of area. Okay. Some people have probably heard of that. Sure. But in the suburbs. So yeah, LA is the first big city I really ever lived in. And
is this your favorite spot so far?
I mean, I think for like where I'm at in my life right now, it's really, really good for me. Like it's where I want to be, It's hard to pick like a favorite. I don't think I would have liked to grow up in LA. I liked growing up the way I grew up.
Yeah. Yeah. I say that all the time too.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not very good at picking favorites, to be honest.
Yeah. I feel like just enjoy wherever you're at.
Yeah.
This seems a pretty good answer.
Yeah. And if you don't like it, like move.
Or learn to like it. Because like it sucks to like live in a spot that you don't enjoy. So either find something that is like you can do in that area or move, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you most excited for in your life right now, my friend?
Most excited for in my life? That's a pretty big question. I don't know. There's not like one really big kind of thing that I'm excited for. It's more just the little things, I think. Like continuing to do these things I enjoy, like surfing and going snowboarding and doing yoga, things like that. I guess I am pretty excited for like for the opportunity to be able to do some of the things that we haven't been able to do in the last year.
Yeah.
Go
out and eat, enjoy.
Yeah.
Enjoy some
travel.
Life. Yeah, you just did some traveling, right?
Yeah, I did a little traveling and it was so awesome, and I had so many trips canceled because of COVID, and I'm really looking forward to traveling mostly like internationally, because I had a lot of international trips canceled.
Really? Where were you gonna go?
It's gonna go to like Europe for like 3 weeks. I was gonna go to Costa Rica. Yeah, so I'm still hopefully going to Costa Rica in April. Like,
Is there good surf in Costa Rica as well?
crossed. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's definitely good surf. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
not really going to surf like strictly, but we'll be surfing a bit while we're there.
Is this with your roommates?
Yeah, with my 2 roommates and with like my roommate's younger brother, who's a good friend,
Yeah.
and some of his other friends. We have like this kind of
You guys are super tight. That's like super cool. It's awesome to have like people who enjoy the same activities that you do.
yeah. We have a lot of similar interests, and it's kind of good group of people. So going down to Costa Rica will be a really really fun time.
That's awesome.
Be like doing a lot of yoga and like self growth and
Yeah.
surfing and cool things like that.
Just excited to live some life a little bit.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, it's been tough. COVID's been tough. Although, like, I think I've been doing well with it compared to a
A lot of people
really
been
struggling.
suffering out here, man.
Yeah,
A
and
lot of people been moving out of LA, out of California.
yeah, and I mean, it sucks because a lot of them, it's not like, their fault. That people have like family members dying. People have like jobs, businesses being closed. Like, it's hard to have a good time in life when people you love die and your life's work is ruined because
Going down the shithole because it's not on you. It's not. It's outside factors.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I've just been really fortunate.
Yeah, super blessed in the sense that like none of my family hasn't like died.
Yeah, and that we kind of are still able to do some, like most of the things we love.
Yeah.
Despite the circumstances.
Yeah, because like surfing hasn't been really canceled at all.
Yeah, they closed the beaches for a little bit, but I don't think that lasted very long.
Yeah, I had a friend who went surfing and got a ticket though for $300.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow,
I was just like, yo, that's
crazy.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And when gyms closed and everything, and I was working out at the park near my old place. They were getting $90 tickets out for like doing pull-ups
At the park?
at the park.
That's crazy. Yeah, they like chained up the basketball hoops and stuff so you can play
Yeah,
basketball.
but the thing is, like, the whole thing that bugged me about COVID is like they were preaching stay inside, and like don't talk to anybody and like whatever. But they didn't preach like go work out, go get some sunlight, go take your supplements, and like
For sure.
boost your immune system.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that one time on the news, dude,
I know.
or any article or anything. I'm just like, yo, like, just be healthier, and your chances of like getting it like decrease exponentially.
Yeah, or like getting a serious case of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I completely agree, and I think it shouldn't be one or the other. It should be both. Like,
Yeah.
because obviously we're at a point where people are getting it and people are getting hurt and they're dying because whatever pre-existing conditions, like they're unhealthy, whatever.
Yeah.
Like some of those things it's like you can't just be like, all right, like get some sunlight, work out, you'll be fine. Like you're too far down the rabbit hole,
Yeah.
So it has to be like, okay, do all that, like get some sunlight, maybe supplement with like some vitamins and eat healthy, but also like be careful and don't expose yourself. But yeah, I mean,
But like a 2-week lockdown turned into a one year like pandemic. Like,
for sure.
it's like, yo, you can't close down the economy. Like, people need to make a living.
Yeah, and a lot of people argue that like the cure is worse than the disease. Like a lot of people dying from hunger and like people losing money and
It's kind of sad to see LA. I mean, you live in Venice, dude, and you've seen like, I guess, like, hasn't the homeless population like kind of, you see it a little bit more now?
I don't know if it's that noticeable, honestly.
No, really?
I don't know if I've noticed that much of a difference.
Mm.
Maybe at the beginning, but they've done a lot. Like there are certain areas where there used to be a lot of people where they like made them leave. So I don't know where they went. But yeah, I don't know that there are as much. But some of the people that are there are a lot more settled, like built like structures and stuff on the beach now. That people are, like,
they're kind of like mini homes.
Yeah.
Are you also excited to like start working too, or are you kind of just like whatever about that?
Like after I finish school.
School, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited in a sense. I think it's kind of bittersweet because like I'm gonna have a lot less free time than I have now. Like I'm gonna be.
Is it literally gonna be like 9 to 7, 9 to 5, or what every single day, or like does it go case by case, or like I don't know how like a law firm works. So.
Yeah, it depends on the law firm you work at, but typically, yeah, it's pretty full time. I mean, 9 to 5 would be nice compared to what I'm gonna be working. Like I'll probably be working.
Oh, it's like 15 hours days or what?
Yeah, I mean, I think
10-hour days.
a lot of people are working like 70 hours a week.
No shit.
Yeah, it's a lot of work for sure.
Yeah.
So like I'm not excited to not have a lot of free time, but I am excited to, first of all to like make some money, and second of all to like actually get some experience in the legal field, because it's going to open so many doors to like things I want to do down the road, whatever those things may be, even though maybe I'm not like 100% sure of what those things are. And it'll be nice. It's really nice like going to school and learning. I love going to school.
I feel like you like learning a lot.
Yeah, I do. I love, and I'll never stop learning. And it's nice being able to go to the skate park in between classes. Like I'm not gonna be able to do that anymore.
Yeah.
But I think it's okay, and I'll work as long as I want to work. And if I need to stop working and take a break and reassess my
then you'll do
my
it.
priorities, yeah, I'll do that.
Do you have any advice on I guess like getting into like law, because like UCLA law is hard to get into. Or I guess any law school is hard to get into. Well, do you have any advice for anyone out there who wants to like go into that law field, or want to, I guess, just any advice in that sense?
I guess for people like maybe applying to law school, it kind of depends where you're at in the process. Like if you're still an undergrad, then obviously like just focus on your grades, because that's super important.
Is that mostly at like a good GPA for like law school?
Yeah, grades and your LSAT score, which is like the test, the law school admissions test.
Yeah.
So other than that, but I don't know, I think it's most important to like at least take a step back and get an idea of what you really want to do and where you really want to be, because law school is really expensive. Like the better school you go to, the more expensive it's going to be, like,
so just like make sure that this is what you want to.
Yeah. And and understand like what, like, even if you want to be a lawyer, like understand what you want to do. Like if your family owns a law firm and you want to work for your family law firm, like go to a school that gives you some good scholarship money, so it's not as expensive, because you're going to get a job there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like most of the students who go to UCLA could have gotten like a full ride at some other schools that are like,
oh really?
Yeah, because for sure. Because UCLA is like the 15th best ranked law school in the nation. So if they would have gone to like the 30th or 40th best ranked, they would have probably gotten like a full ride. Just because they're like very qualified,
Sure.
So know what you want to do, know where you want to work as much as you can. I mean, like I said, I'm not 100% positive.
Yeah.
Also, like if you're not sure if you want to go, don't go yet. Like the average age of my like first year class was like 25 or 26. I think.
Take a couple of years, take those gap years.
It's okay.
And
like,
learn about yourself.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Like I'm 25 now and I'm about to graduate. So I'm like going to be graduating when the average person, at least at UCLA, was starting. So I'm a little bit like younger.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, all the advice is out there. You just got to do well on the test and get good grades.
Yeah. What about yoga and stuff? Like what if someone's hitting a plateau for stretching? Do you have any advice on just like, I guess, like expanding your practice and getting better at, I guess, stretching or yoga or anything in that sense?
Yeah, I mean, one, it's just practice. It's just consistent practice, whether that's like every day or whether it's like 3 times a week, whatever that looks like for you.
Yeah.
Consistency, just like in anything else, is gonna progress you more. And that's the only thing that's gonna progress you, is just practicing and being consistent. Yeah. But also you kind of gotta like fall in love with the process,
Yeah.
which is like huge. Also translates to
just
a lot
like
of
love
things.
what you do.
Yeah, like I just like doing yoga. I love getting into like these crazy poses and stuff when I can, but if I don't get into like a new pose for 6 months, it's okay, because I love just the practice of yoga.
Yeah, I feel like you're a super process guy. I feel like there's a lot of people out there who have goals, and I need to hit this, and this. Do you have goals? I feel like you're just more likely of like, oh, I'm just gonna progress in everything I do.
Yeah, I definitely have goals. I have like a list specifically for like 2021.
What is it? What are some?
Laid out some goals.
Are they just like, are they financial goals? Are they business goals? Are they just like yoga goals?
All of the above.
All of the above. Yeah.
I mean, yoga goals, fitness goals, like academic career goals. Like,
what are a few?
I mean, some of the yoga poses I told you about,
The pull-ups.
the pull-ups. One of them, I want to. This one's a little ambitious, but I want to buy a house this year.
Yeah. Here?
No, in it like near where my parents live in Florida, in like
Okay.
St. Petersburg, Florida.
Just like an investment?
yeah, just
Okay.
like have
rent it out?
have tenants. Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to have that. I want to like pass the bar exam, California bar exam I'm
Yeah.
taking. I want to get some more money in like investments and things like that.
Why do you want to buy a house?
Just like for financial reasons, like
For like longevity stuff? Like,
yeah, just like investments. Like I'm investing in stocks. I want to invest in real estate too.
sure. Just like well-rounded portfolio.
Yeah, diversity. And yeah, I mean that area of the country, a lot of areas there are a lot of areas like this, like Austin, Texas is one, for example,
Yeah.
that are just booming right now. And if
Yeah.
you know,
Texas is going
if
crazy.
you buy a house right now in like 10 years, it's going to appreciate so much. Also, you're
Sure.
getting money from the tenants.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have money for a down payment on a house and you get tenants in it, then they just pay the mortgage and you're not, I mean, maybe you're making a little bit of money each month, but otherwise you
Yeah.
just are like accumulating equity in an asset.
Yeah.
So that's something I want to do. Yeah. And those are most of my 2021 goals. I think I'm super open to writing more things down as they come to me.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't really have any long-term goals. In that sense, when you said I'm more of a process guy, I think I kind of agree with you, although I never really thought about that. But yeah,
Well, it seems just like you're super go with the flow, which is awesome because I feel like I'm that way. And I don't know if that's a negative thing or a positive thing. I just know that's like kind of who I am. Like I have goals, but like I don't like I think my 2020 goals, I think half of them I didn't hit, but I hit them starting like in 2021. Like I don't get mad when I don't hit them. I feel like I'm eventually going to get there. It's just
Yeah.
like I'm just going to stick to what I do, and then like if I get there, cool. If I don't, like in the time that I thought I would, I'm still pretty sure I'm gonna get there. Like I don't want it to like, I guess, demotivate me.
yeah, and you can't get down on yourself or like
Yeah.
feel guilty because then you'll never get there. If you like,
Yeah.
if all you're focusing is like, if you're focusing just on how you didn't get there, you're not gonna like take the steps you need to take to get there.
But I have like a lot of law school friends who are like uptight all the time, stressed out, and every time I hang out with you, you're just relaxed and like easygoing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the archetype of a law student and a lawyer generally. Most people are pretty uptight.
Yeah,
and
like you're
just
the total
type A,
opposite of it, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, to be fair, like I'm not the total opposite.
Okay.
But like, it's definitely a spectrum, and I'm much.
when I
more,
look at you, I don't see lawyer.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I definitely have like the brain for it.
No, I definitely.
And like my brain.
I didn't mean
works-
that in a bad way.
Yeah, no,
at
I didn't take it in a
Yeah.
bad way. But I mean, my brain like works in the way a lawyer's brain works.
Sure.
But I think I at least do what I can to
Yeah.
not, because there are a lot of negative things that come with like a legal education.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think I'm not sure if it was like Andrew Yang or like Ben Carson or someone who like ran for president was like in law school or was practicing law, and
Might have been Andrew Yang.
I think maybe Andrew Yang.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't like the person I'm becoming. My brain is getting taken over by like the process that you need to use to do legal analysis, which is look at every single possible thing that could go wrong.
Yeah.
And if you do that every day in your life, that's not healthy.
That's
you know,
kinda shitty.
that's like worrying, and that's like being self-conscious. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I try to like turn the switch off, which can be hard at times.
I think that's beneficial though.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely beneficial. Yeah. I'm 100% confident.
That 1 hour of skate park or surfing is
Yeah.
gonna do it for you.
Yeah. But back to the whole go with the flow thing. I kind of think sometimes we are similar in that way, but sometimes and you were saying like, is it a good thing or a bad thing? I think it's probably both in a sense. But sometimes I worry that like I'm like go with the flow too much, that in like 20 years, you know, I'm going to be like, well, I'm still going with the flow, and I wish I had some shit done by now, you know, because I've
Yeah.
been going with the flow so much.
But the thing is, like, you have got shit done though.
Yeah.
And I have got shit done.
For
though.
sure.
That's the only thing that I'm just like, I think it's okay, but I don't know. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I think you just have to like constantly be like checking.
I think you just
on
gotta be
yourself.
self-aware. Like, checking, like, did I get some stuff done? Did I get some things that I say I was gonna do? And then you're like, I guess I did. And, all right, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really interesting. I think about that sometimes.
Yeah. because like I don't know, like we're very similar in the sense that I guess we're both very positive people too. Like I love hanging out with you in the little time that I have, and it's just like, oh, just do things that you enjoy doing, and just like be happy where you're at, and like good things will come to like people who like work hard and just like enjoy what they do. Like, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Completely agree.
Yeah. All right, man. You ready to work out?
Yeah. I'm down.
Thanks for coming.
You're welcome, man. Yeah. This was fun.
Thanks, guys. Ryan Roth.
Cool.